Yes, we cannot control life's difficult moments, but we can choose to make life less difficult. We cannot control the negative atmosphere of the world, but we can control the atmosphere of our minds. Too often, we try to choose and control things we cannot. Too seldom, we choose to control what we can, our attitude. The joy of life is variety. The tenderest love requires to be renewed by intervals of absence. The hours that make us cheerful make us wise. Cheerfulness is the greatest lubricant of the wheels of life. Let us be of good cheer, remembering that the misfortunes hardest to bear are those which never happen, and cheerfulness keeps up a kind of daylight in the mind, filling it with a steady and perpetual serenity. The great end of life is not knowledge, but action. A life which does not go into action is a failure. The real tragedy of life is not in being limited to one talent, but in the failure to use the one talent. By the time you're 80 years old, you have learned everything. You only have to remember it. It is one of the misfortunes of life that one must read thousands of books only to discover that one need not have read them. From birth to age 18, a girl needs good parents. From 18 to 35, she needs good looks. From 35 to 55, she needs a good personality. From 55 on, she needs good cash. One should never trust a woman who tells one her real age. A woman who would tell one that would tell one anything. I have lived long enough. My way of life is falling into the sere, the yellow leaf. The old believe everything, the middle-aged suspect everything, the young know everything. In human life, there is nothing which prospers to the end. So the quality is not the longevity of one's life is what is important. The first 40 years of life give us the text, the next 30 supply the commentary on it. And in the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. An aim in life is the only fortune worth. There are two things to aim at in life: first to get what you want, and after that to enjoy it. Only the wisest of mankind achieve the second. Anthony Robbins says, I believe life is constantly testing us for our level of commitment, and life's greatest rewards are reserved for those who demonstrate a never-ending commitment to act until they achieve. And Vince Lombardi explained it as, the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. Courage is the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees the others. Courage is a virtue only insofar as it is directed by prudence. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the master of it. Without courage, you cannot practice any other virtue. One man with courage makes a majority. As we know, fear is slavery, work is liberty, but courage is victory. A man of courage is also full of faith, and fortune favors the brave. With courage, we desire and prize is not the courage to die decently, but to live manfully. Life is mostly froth and bubble, two things stand like stone: kindness is another's trouble, and courage is your own. Those in this world who have the courage to try and solve in their own lives new problems of life are the ones who raise society to greatness. Those who merely live according to rule do not advance society, they only carry it along. Courage is almost a contradiction in terms. It means a strong desire to live, taking the form of readiness to die. There is little peace or comfort in life if we are always anxious as to future events. He that worries himself with the dread of possible contingencies will never be at rest. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equals, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness. The happiness of every country depends upon the character of its people, rather than the form of its government. And civilization, in the real sense of the term, consists not in the multiplication, but in the deliberate and voluntary reduction of wants. This alone promotes real happiness and contentment and increases the capacity of service. And the action is best, which procures the greatest happiness, for the greatest numbers. Happiness is not in doing what you like, but in liking what you do. Happiness and work are really wedded together, for there can be no true happiness without feeling that one is doing something worthwhile. Happiness has a habit of pursuing the person who feels grateful to his God, comfortable with his conscience, in favor with his friends, in love with his labors, and in balance with his bank. Of course, happiness is like Coke, something you get as a byproduct in the process of making something else. The secret of happiness is this: let your interest be as wide as possible, and let your reactions to the things and persons that interest you be as far as possible friendly rather than hostile. The best secret of happiness is renunciation. And it depends on what you can give, not what you can get. Many persons have the wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. True happiness lies in the extinction of all emotions. And in this world happy is he who has overcome all selfishness, happy is he who has attained peace, and happy is he who has found the truth. Now, the heart is so full that a drop overfills it. We are happy now, because God wills it. Happy the man, and happy he alone, he who can call today his own, he who secure within can say, tomorrow do thy worst, for I have lived today.